So, I'm in the cave. Very comfortable. It's actually quite warm in here.
What was that?
Shh. I didn't know what it was, but I heard something moving around.
The Dyatlov Pass Incident is one of the most perplexing mysteries in modern history. In the winter of 1959, 9 experienced hikers embarked on an expedition into the Ural Mountains in Soviet Russia. What started as a routine adventure soon took a chilling turn. Days later, they were all found dead under circumstances so bizarre that they continue to baffle investigators, conspiracy theorists, and curious minds to this day.
Listen. Just gotta see what that is.
No.
I'll be right back.
He just left into the cave.
The hikers' tent was slashed open from the inside, as if they had fled in a panic. Some were barefoot, others partially clothed despite the freezing temperatures. And then there were the strange injuries, skulls fractured, ribs broken, yet with no external wounds that could explain such force. What happened to these hikers? Was it an avalanche, a military experiment gone wrong, or something even more sinister?
I was all alone then.
What am I doing here?
At the time, the Soviet government conducted an investigation, which quickly concluded that the hikers had died due to a compelling natural force. But this vague explanation only fueled further speculation. How could nature alone be responsible for such strange and terrifying events? Over 6 decades later, the mystery remains unsolved, and theories range from the plausible to the outlandish. But before we dive into these theories, let's look at the facts of what transpired during those fateful days in February 1959. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group of hikers set out on their journey with the intent to reach the summit of Mount Otorten. All 9 of them were experienced in cold weather expeditions, making what happened next even more puzzling. When the group failed to return on schedule, a search party was dispatched. What they found was nothing short of horrifying. The tent was discovered first. It had been cut open from the inside, suggesting the hikers had urgently fled into the snow, abandoning all their gear. Even stranger, the footprints leading away from the tent indicated that some of them were barefoot or wearing only socks, an unthinkable decision given the freezing temperatures that night. As searchers ventured further, they began to find the bodies. The first 2 were found near the tree line, dressed only in their underwear, as if they had been trying to build a fire for warmth. Others were found scattered in various locations, some wearing pieces of clothing that belonged to the others, indicating they had shared garments as they succumbed to the cold. But it's the condition of the final bodies found that has caused the most debate. 4 of the hikers were discovered in a ravine several meters from the others. They exhibited severe internal injuries, akin to what one might experience in a car crash, crushed skulls and broken ribs, but with no external signs of trauma. One of the women, Lyudmila Dubinina, was found with her tongue missing, further deepening the mystery. Despite these horrific injuries, there were no signs of a struggle or any other humans nearby. This chilling discovery set off a wave of speculation. The first and most plausible explanation was that an avalanche had caused the group to panic and flee the tent. In their disoriented state, they may have suffered injuries as they stumbled down the mountain in the dark, desperate for safety. However, several elements of the case don't fit this theory. For one, there were no signs of a significant avalanche in the area, and the internal injuries sustained by the hikers were not consistent with the type of trauma an avalanche typically causes. Furthermore, their tent, though slashed open, was still standing, suggesting that it had not been buried under snow. Then came the theory that the hikers had been victims of a secret military experiment. During the Cold War, the Soviet government conducted numerous classified tests in remote areas, and some believe the Dyatlov Pass incident was the result of one such experiment gone horribly wrong. According to this theory, the hikers may have accidentally stumbled upon a missile test site or been exposed to some sort of radioactive material. Indeed, traces of radiation were found on some of the victims' clothing, lending some credence to this idea. But even this theory has its holes. If a military experiment were responsible, why would the government leave the bodies to be discovered? Surely a cover-up would have been more effective. Others have speculated about more outlandish causes. Some believe the hikers were attacked by a Yeti, pointing to the sheer force required to cause their injuries as evidence of an encounter with a large, unknown creature. There are even those who claim that UFOs were involved, citing mysterious orbs of light seen in the sky by other hikers in the region around the same time. However, these theories, while intriguing, are widely considered to be the product of overactive imaginations rather than serious investigations. A lesser-known but increasingly popular theory suggests that the hikers may have suffered from infrasound, a type of low-frequency sound wave that can cause feelings of panic, dread, and physical discomfort in humans. Produced by natural phenomena like wind passing over mountains, infrasound could have triggered a state of irrational fear among the group, causing them to flee the tent in a disoriented and panicked state. This might explain why they left their shelter and ran out into the freezing night with little or no clothing. But again, the severity of the injuries remains difficult to explain. In recent years, a new explanation has emerged, one rooted in a better understanding of the terrain. Some experts believe the group may have been the victim of a rare type of avalanche called a slab avalanche. In such cases, a large, cohesive block of snow breaks off and slides down the mountain, crushing anything in its path. This could explain the severe internal injuries without the usual signs of trauma on the surface. While this theory has gained some traction, it still doesn't fully account for all the bizarre details such as the missing tongue or the radiation found on the clothing. Despite the countless investigations, documentaries, and books written on the subject, no one has been able to conclusively determine what happened to the Dyatlov group. The Russian government reopened the case in 2019, and in 2020, they officially concluded that an avalanche was the cause of death. However, this explanation has done little to quell the debate, and many continue to believe there is more to the story than what the official reports suggest. There's also the matter of the behavior of the search team and investigators. Some of the people initially involved in the recovery efforts were reportedly told to keep certain details under wraps, only adding to suspicions that some higher authority was involved in this tragedy. The secrecy surrounding the Dyatlov Pass incident during the Soviet era is another reason why conspiracy theories have flourished. It was a time when the government controlled information, and if there were military secrets to protect, it's not far-fetched to think a cover-up might have been orchestrated. After all, the Cold War was at its height, and the Soviet Union had a vested interest in ensuring that sensitive information, especially anything related to military technology, remained undisclosed. One of the most striking aspects of this mystery is the sheer variety of theories that continue to emerge, each one trying to make sense of the bizarre combination of factors in the case. While some explanations, like the avalanche or military experiment, are grounded in real-world possibilities, others veer into the fantastical. The allure of the Dyatlov Pass incident lies not just in the gruesome details, but in its openness to interpretation. People are drawn to it because it resists a clear answer, forcing us to confront the unknown. In the end, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains a haunting enigma, a puzzle with too many missing pieces to ever be fully solved. It stands as a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the wilderness and the limits of our understanding of the natural and perhaps supernatural world. Even today, more than 60 years later, the tragic fate of those 9 hikers continues to captivate and terrify those who dare to explore the mystery. As we uncover these eerie details, the questions only grow more chilling. What drove the hikers to abandon their only shelter? How did some sustain such brutal injuries, while others simply froze to death? And why, after all this time, are we no closer to the truth? One thing is certain, the Dyatlov Pass incident is a mystery that will continue to haunt us for generations to come. If you found this story as unsettling as we did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most enduring mysteries. What do you think happened to the Dyatlov group? Let us know in the comments below.